Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. That's what I have on my website, and it's part of the main picture I have on my Facebook page. Because that's what I learned in life. Pain is inevitable. We're all going to go through pain. None of us is going to escape life without experiencing some form of pain. The suffering part, however, is optional. And that might sound a little bit crazy because it did to me. But what I learned was how long I suffer and what makes me suffer is two different things. Because what makes me suffer and what made me suffer was the experiences I had. And one of the biggest things that affected me in my life was the effects of alcoholism. Because I grew up in a family where my father was the alcoholic. I married an alcoholic. So that was my whole life, affected by somebody else's behaviour. But what I didn't know behind it was I was also affected by my own behaviour. And my own behaviour was a reaction to their behaviour. So I had no sense of myself because my mood depended on their mood. My mood depended on if they were home, if they were not home, was I waiting for them to come home, what way would they come home, what would happen when they come home. Tons of stuff. And you know that feeling when you're waiting to hear the key in the door and you go, oh, the dread. I lived in that state for so many years. It just was incredible. However, I got through that, and it took me a long time, because when I was in that, I learned to live very disappointed. I learned to live in a place where there's no point in hoping anything because it's never going to be any different. And the biggest thing I learned out of that is if I didn't hope that things would get better, then I wouldn't be disappointed. And that's the way I lived, under par all the time, until I made a change. I made the change. They didn't make the change. It was me. And that's the way life is. We will make the change, and nothing will change for us if we don't change. So for me, what I learned in going through all that was, behind it all, I didn't think that I deserved a better life. I didn't know that I did deserve a better life because I really believed I didn't. And that's what made change so difficult for me. And boy, did I struggle, because my default setting was to keep going back and believing I didn't deserve any better. So changing the default setting was extremely difficult for me, and I'm sure it's very difficult for you too if you're trying to change something. Because we don't hope, because we fear the disappointment. We don't look to the future in a positive way because our default setting is set in negative. What I learned was, it took me a long time to become young, to become vulnerable, to just see how good one day could be, because I was constantly living in the future, trying to plan, trying to control, trying to just make sure everything would be okay, because I couldn't stick living in uncertainty. I wanted everything to be certain, and I couldn't control anything. And I spent years trying to control this, trying to control that, thinking that if I changed something, then they would change. And it never ever happened, because it wasn't about me, it was about them. But the effect it has on me was about me. And that's the same for you. If you are affected by alcoholism or somebody else's issues, nothing will change until you change. And that's a sad and a hard lesson in life. But you know what? When you make the change, it's absolutely phenomenal. Because today I know I deserve a good life. Today I can live in the day and not be into tomorrow, next week, next year. Like, I planned years ahead. I was always planning my escape when I get away from him, when I get out of here. And I made so many bad decisions because of that, because I wasn't grounded and I didn't have a sense of myself. And at the back of it all, I just wanted the pain that I was in to stop. And until I faced myself, it wasn't going to stop. And eventually I did. And I got support and I got help and I got trusted friends that was able to help me. And that was huge. That was huge. And I'm very grateful to the people that helped me. I really am. And today I want to encourage you that your life can get better and it will get better, but it's up to you. It's up to you, it's up to me, it's up to us all, because do you know what? To be able to live in today is just priceless. It's priceless and it's gorgeous. And yes, there's still pain in my life, but I'm not consumed by it anymore. What I am consumed by is my peace, my truth and my joy, the values I learned to live in. And if I'm not living in my values, I'm off kilter and I'm no use to anybody. So I have to keep focusing on that. And like I said earlier on, it takes a long time to become young, because I was so traumatized. I didn't have a childhood, but I learned to give it to myself. And I love it. I actually love it. I just love the things I do today. The simple things, and people say, you're mad. Doesn't matter. Because it's bringing pleasure to me. And I don't go out to upset anybody. I'm happy doing what I do. And I'm happy to be helping you too. And I hope today has been helpful. And I hope today has been encouraging, that you can see me and know it is possible to recover. It is possible once you reach out and say, I need help. So I hope that's been helpful. And if it is, please share it if you think it might help somebody else too. And thanks as always for watching. And I will see you all next week for Soulful Sunday. And in the meantime, take care of yourself especially, and take care of each other. And thanks for watching, guys. Thank you.